Stop trying to walk off your belly fat like everyone else and do it the right way. Most people think they need more steps, more cardio, more willpower. Wrong. Researchers discovered a simple 10-minute habit that can dramatically reduce blood sugar spikes and the insulin response that drives stubborn belly fat. And before this lesson ends, I'll be showing you a little-known muscle trick that lowered blood sugar by more than 50% in people while they were sitting in a chair. So look, if your belly fat won't budge or your energy crashes after your meals, you need to see this. Let me ask you something. Have you been walking 10,000 steps a day but your belly fat still won't budge? Do you crash hard after meals and want to nap? Do you get cravings an hour or two after eating? Do you feel foggy or sluggish? Do you wake up tired even after a full night of sleep? If you answered yes to any of these, your body is telling you something. The steps are not the problem. The timing is. Type timing in the comments if this sounds familiar. I spent years walking 10,000 steps a day. I was doing everything right. I was moving. I was hitting my step count. And yet, that stubborn belly fat would not budge. My energy would crash after meals. I would get cravings I could not control. I was frustrated. Then, I started researching the science of blood sugar, insulin, and movement. I learned that walking is not just about steps. It is about the window. I learned that a 10-minute walk after a meal can be more effective for blood sugar control than an hour of walking later in the day. I tested it. I stopped obsessing over my step count and started walking for 10 minutes after my biggest meal. The results were immediate. My energy stabilized, my cravings disappeared, and that stubborn belly fat started to finally move. By the end of this video, you will know exactly why the 10,000 step myth is holding you back and what to do instead. But first, let's kill the belief that's been holding you back. For 30+ years, we've been sold an idea. More movement equals more fat loss. Burn more calories than you eat, and the weight comes off. It's simple math, right? Except your body is not a calculator. It's a beautiful chemistry lab, and that chemistry is being run by your hormones, not by your step counter. So many people look at weight loss like this. I need to lose weight so I can get healthy. That is not how your metabolism works. You don't lose weight to get healthy. You get healthy to lose weight. Here's the distinction that changes everything. Movement does not directly burn belly fat. Movement changes your hormones, and your hormones decide whether your metabolism stores fat or releases it. That is a small sentence with a massive implication. It means the type and the timing of your training matters far more than the amount. So, let me introduce you to the real enemy here. It's not your age, it's not your slow metabolism, it's not your genetics, it's not laziness. The villain of the story here is chronically elevated levels of insulin. Insulin is an energy sensor hormone. It's also called the fat storage hormone. You have hundreds of hormones inside your body, but only one of those hormones signals fat storage, and that hormone is insulin. When it's high, fat storage is switched on and fat burning is turned off. It is almost physically impossible to burn belly fat if you have high levels of insulin. Studies show that 93% of Americans have some form of high levels of insulin, which is called insulin resistance. So here's the question that should be bugging you right now. If movement is the answer, why are there people out there crushing 10,000 steps a day every single day, yet they're still carrying stubborn belly fat? Why isn't it working for them? The answer is the whole reason I made this video. Here it is. The window. It's not how much you walk. It's about walking in the 10 minutes after you just ate a meal. Now, I know that sounds too simple to even matter, but stay with me because I'll show you research on this that's absolutely wild. When you finish a meal, especially one with carbohydrates, your blood sugar climbs. And the higher and faster that blood sugar spikes, the more insulin your pancreas pumps out to clear that excess glucose, which means the more of that meal gets pushed into storage, fat storage. Your body has a very tightly controlled system in place to control blood glucose. And for so many people, that spike and store cycle has been quietly building their belly fat despite how much activity they do. But here's the magic. If you go for a walk while that blood sugar is climbing, your muscles step in and pull glucose straight out of your bloodstream. And here's the most important thing to understand. It does this without the need for insulin. Your muscles become glucose sponges. They soak up the sugar in your body before the insulin spike needs to deal with it. Let me show you the studies. A team published research in the journal Diabetologia showing that 3 short 10-minute walks after meals controlled blood sugar over a 24-hour period more effectively than one single 30-minute walk. Same total time on your feet, better results purely because of the timing. Then there's a 2025 study in Scientific Reports that I love because of how practical it is. Researchers had people either rest, walk for 10 minutes right after a glucose drink, or do the recommended thing. Wait 30 minutes and then walk for 30 minutes. The short 10-minute walk was the only one that significantly knocked down the peak blood sugar spike. The longer, later walk did not blunt the peak the same way, and the pace that people walked was simply a gentle stroll, about 2.5 miles per hour. It wasn't power walking, they weren't sweating, it was a casual after-dinner stroll that beat the longer workout. Let that sink in. Less time, easier effort, better result because of one thing: the window. Now, let's open the hood for a minute, because once you understand this mechanism, you'll never unsee it. Picture your bloodstream after a meal. Glucose floods in, your pancreas sees it and shouts out insulin. Insulin's job is to knock on the doors of your cells and say, "Hey, let this sugar in." In a healthy body, the cells open up, the sugar goes in, blood sugar comes back down, insulin settles, done. But when you spike high again and again, day after day, year after year, the cells get tired of all that knocking. They stop answering the door as easily. That's called insulin resistance. Now your pancreas has to scream louder, pump out more insulin to do the same job. And do you remember what high insulin does? It locks in fat storage, specifically the dangerous stuff called visceral fat, the nasty white inflammatory fat that wraps around your vital organs and applies pressure to your heart, your kidneys, your lungs, your liver. This is the stuff that drives your belly out and increases inflammation. So, you end up in a trap. High blood sugar leads to high insulin. High insulin leads to belly fat and resistance. Resistance leads to even higher insulin. Round and round. And no amount of eat less, move more breaks that loop if you keep slamming the spike and store button 3 to 10 to 15 times a day with your snacking and grazing. Here's why that post-meal walk is so powerful in light of all of it. Walking opens up a second door into your muscle cells, one that doesn't need insulin to swing it. Scientists call it the GLUT4 transporters. This is a glucose transporter that muscle contraction activates directly. So, you clear the sugar, and you give your overworked pancreas a break. You're not just lowering a number on a meter, you're stepping off the hamster wheel. But there's one group of people who get even dramatically better results from all of this, and it has nothing to do with walking farther. The people who win this game are the ones with healthy, active muscles. Here's a fact that should be on billboards across your highway. Your skeletal muscle is responsible for roughly 80% of the glucose your body clears after a meal. 80%. Your muscle is by far the biggest blood sugar disposal inside your body. That's from gold standard clamp studies done by Dr. Ralph DeFranzo and colleagues. This is foundational, settled science. So think about what that means. Muscle isn't just for looking good or lifting heavy things. Muscle is a metabolic storage space. It's the warehouse where your body parks glucose so it doesn't end up in your waistline. The more healthy, active muscle you carry, the bigger your warehouse. And the harder it is for a meal to spike your blood sugar in the first place. Here's the flip side. Starting in your 40s, you naturally lose muscle every year if you do nothing about it. And every pound of muscle that you lose is a pound of warehouse space gone. Your glucose disposal shrinks, your insulin sensitivity drops. The same meal that you process just fine at 35 now spikes you at 45 or 50. It's not that your willpower failed. It's simply because your storage tank has shrunk. This is the mindset shift I want you to have. The paradigm shift. Exercise was never about burning calories. It's about building the place that stores them safely. Now, there's a way to activate this that almost nobody talks about. It's the most surprising study in this video. First, the simple protocol. After your largest meal of the day, for most people that is dinner, you just go for a 10-minute walk. That's it. The walk can be outside, in your house or apartment, in the hallway of your building, or on a treadmill. It doesn't matter. But I want you to do the talk test pace, meaning during that walk, you can hold a conversation comfortably the whole time. You're not power walking. You're not jogging. You're not sweating. If you're gasping during that walk, you're probably going too hard. Slow it down. And do that after your biggest meal of the day, every day. That's the whole prescription. Now, the bombshell I promised you. There's a version of this for the days that you literally cannot get out and walk. Researchers at the University of Houston, led by Dr. Mark Hamilton, studied a tiny muscle in your calf called the soleus. It's about 1% of your entire body weight, and they found a way to activate it while you're sitting down. They call it the soleus push-up. It's basically lifting your heels off the floor over and over while seated, keeping the toes planted. Here's the part that made me read it 3 times in a row because I couldn't believe the study. When people did this seated calf movement after a glucose drink, they saw their blood sugar excursion drop by about 52%, and their insulin requirement drop by about 60% over the following 3 hours. From a muscle that's 1% of your entire body while sitting in a chair. Hamilton's team says that the effect rivals the one you'd see after an hour of a hard workout. And they didn't know of any drug that raises that metabolic rate quite like that. Now, I want to be straight with you. Their precise lab version used feedback equipment, and a casual heel raise at your desk won't perfectly replicate. But this principle is rock solid, and it's been replicated in pre-diabetes pilot studies showing about a 1/3 drop in blood sugar response. The takeaway is enormous. Even tiny, gentle muscle contractions done at the right time move the needle on the exact thing that drives your belly fat. So there's no excuse left. If you sit at your desk after a big lunch, pump those heels. So why doesn't this work for everyone? Here are the 5 most common mistakes. Mistake number 1. Walking at the wrong time. They walk either 30 minutes or over an hour after their biggest meal, and they miss the most important window. The walk is fine. Keep doing it. It's not hurting you. But the spike already happened and the fat got stored. Timing beats volume. Mistake number 2. Thinking longer is better. They figure if 10 minutes is good, an hour must be 10 times better. So, they never start because they can't find an hour. The short, well-timed walk beat the long, late one. It was 10 minutes right after your biggest meal of the day. Mistake number 3. Ignoring muscle. They do all the walking and never build or protect the warehouse. So, their glucose disposal keeps shrinking with age and they're constantly swimming upstream. Mistake number 4. Still counting calories instead of optimizing hormones. They're obsessed with the burn and blind to the spike. You can outspike any amount of cardio. Mistake number 5. Doing it inconsistently. One walk after one meal is great, but the real magic happens when you do it consistently after your biggest meal every single day. The benefits compound. Now let me answer the 5 most common questions people ask about the 10-minute walking window. Question 1. How long after eating should I walk? Within 10 minutes of finishing your last bite. That's when your blood sugar is starting to climb. The sooner you start, the more sugar your muscles can soak up before insulin has to do all the work. Question 2. What if I can't walk outside? Walk inside, march in place, walk the length of your hallway. Do the soleus push-up while sitting. Movement is movement. The location doesn't matter. The timing does. Question 3. Do I need to walk fast? No. The talk test pace is perfect. You should be able to hold a conversation comfortably. You are not trying to burn calories. You are trying to move glucose into your muscles. Question 4. What if I already exercise? Great. Keep exercising. But add the 10-minute post-meal walk on top. It is not a replacement for your workout. It is a supplement that targets the spike and store cycle directly. Question 5. Can I do this after every meal? You can, but if you only do it after one meal, make it your biggest meal of the day. For most people, that is dinner. For others, it might be lunch. Pick the meal that spikes you the most and time your walk accordingly. Now let me give you a practical 10-step protocol to stop walking 10,000 steps and start walking for 10 minutes instead. Step 1. Identify your biggest meal of the day. For most people, it is dinner. For others, it is lunch. Step 2. Finish eating. Put your fork down. Take a breath. Step 3. Within 10 minutes of your last bite, stand up. Step 4. Put on comfortable shoes. Or don't. If you are walking indoors, socks are fine. Step 5. Start walking. Gentle pace. Talk test pace. You should be able to hold a conversation. Step 6. Walk for 10 minutes. That is it. Set a timer if you need to. Step 7. Do this after your biggest meal every single day. Step 8. If you cannot walk, do the soleus push-up. Sit in a chair. Plant your toes. Lift your heels. Repeat for 10 minutes. Step 9. Track your energy. Notice if your afternoon crashes disappear. Notice if your cravings decrease. Step 10. Be consistent. One walk is good. Daily walks are life-changing. Let me quickly recap the 1 habit, the 3 mechanisms, the 5 mistakes, the 5 questions, and the 10 steps. The 1 habit. Walk for 10 minutes within 10 minutes of finishing your biggest meal. The 3 mechanisms. Walking opens GLUT4 transporters to clear glucose without insulin. The soleus muscle activation drops blood sugar by 52% while sitting. Walking after meals gives your pancreas a break by using muscles as the primary glucose disposal system. 80% of glucose clearance happens in muscle. The 5 mistakes. Walking at the wrong time, thinking longer is better, ignoring muscle, counting calories instead of optimizing hormones, being inconsistent. The 5 questions. How long after eating? Within 10 minutes. What if I can't walk? Do it inside or soleus push-up. Do I need to walk fast? No. What if I already exercise? Add it on top. Can I do it after every meal? Do it after your biggest. The 10 steps. Identify biggest meal. Finish eating. Stand up within 10 minutes. Wear comfortable shoes. Start walking. Walk 10 minutes. Do it daily. Soleus push-up. If you can't walk, track energy. Be consistent. Here is the truth that most fitness advice will not tell you. The 10,000 step number was never based on science. It was a marketing campaign from a Japanese pedometer company in the 1960s. The number was chosen because the Japanese character for 10,000 looks like a person walking. That is it. There is no magic in 10,000 steps. There is magic in the timing. A study from the journal Diabetologia found that 3 short 10-minute walks after meals controlled blood sugar over 24 hours more effectively than one single 30-minute walk. Same total time on your feet. Better results purely because of the timing. Another study from Scientific Reports showed that a 10-minute walk immediately after a meal blunted the blood sugar spike, while a 30-minute walk 30 minutes later did not. The window is everything. The 10,000-step myth has been holding you back. It has been making you think that more is better, that if you just walk enough, you will burn off the belly fat. But the research says something different. It is not about how much you walk. It is about when you walk. 10 minutes after your meal. That is the window. That is the secret. Your body is not a calculator. It is a beautiful chemistry lab. And that chemistry is run by hormones, not by step counters. Walking changes your hormones. And your hormones decide whether your metabolism stores fat or releases it. The type and the timing of your movement matters far more than the amount. So stop walking 10,000 steps a day like everyone else. Start walking for 10 minutes after your meals. That is how you fix your blood sugar. That is how you lower your insulin. That is how you finally lose that stubborn belly fat. If this video changed how you see walking and belly fat, hit like so Winds of Thought can bring you more science of the body you inhabit. And comment below. What is the biggest meal of your day? Breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Type it in the comments. And if you are ready to try the 10-minute walking window, type walking. Your belly fat has been waiting for the right timing. Start today. Shows this video to someone who needs to hear it. Your friend who walks 10,000 steps a day but still has belly fat. Your parent who crashes after meals. Your spouse who thinks they need more cardio. They are not broken. They just need the right timing. You do not need 10,000 steps. You need 10 minutes after your biggest meal. Start today. Your belly fat does not stand a chance.